Okay.
Okay, I'll officially call our Monday, February 17 meeting of the Mexico Beach Planning and Zoning special meeting to order. Tammy, if you would like to proceed with roll call.
Okay. Mr. Fasagi?
Here.
Mr. Cox?
Here.
Mr. Kreese is absent tonight. Mr. Elsey?
Here.
Mr. Henderson?
Here.
Mr. Kerrigan?
Here. Okay, our first and only point of business that we returned back to from a couple of weeks ago is final plat approval cottages at Paradise Cove. Emily, would you like to come up and take us
Yes.
through?
Good evening, Emily, Anchor Engineering, Emily Thomasy. Cottages at Paradise Cove, final plat. We gave some comments to Dewberry a couple weeks ago regarding the as-built. There was one comment on the water, 2 comments on sewer, and 1 on stormwater. They have since addressed all the comments. We do recommend approval based on the review of the as-built. I know there were some other comments that were discussed at the meeting, and I don't know if that's something that David wants to talk about or you wanted to talk about, but regarding the as-built, we have reviewed and all the issues have been addressed.
Okay. All right, well then we will open the public part of this. So much public, would
I'm
you
the
like?
public, yeah.
Okay.
Again, Dave Rising with Dewberry. Thank you for having this special meeting to take care of this for us. After we came back from the last meeting, I made some calls the next morning, talked to Chief Walker, talked to Chris. I think we've gotten all the issues resolved. The surveyor spoke with Tim Sloan to determine what language had to go on the final plat, and they're working on that now. So I think, according to Chris and Julie, everything's been resolved.
Question.
Sure.
There was a mention at the last meeting, or excuse me, there was a mention after the last meeting that there was a change to the drawing that we were maybe supposed to look at the last meeting, and we didn't. It had to do with the change in the house density just along Paradise Cove Boulevard. I think it went, correct me if I'm wrong, it went from 8 to 6. Has that been addressed?
There wasn't a change in the drawing. This project has been going on for 2018. Y'all can probably know. And at one point, he was trying to put the same size lot on Paradise Cove Boulevard as he was on the interior, and they got some pushback. So ultimately, he ended up changing the lot size. So I think the final plat, or the preliminary plat that was approved has the correct density. So you should have the correct density on that.
Okay, yeah, I just
If
wanted
I
to clarify
may,
that.
if I may, Mr. Chair.
Yep.
Just to explain, yeah, the original drawings that we found had 8 lots along Paradise, and that was reduced to the 6. The 6 is what, there was language in the original P&Z meeting requesting that change, so that has been made. And then we did also, looking back at that, as I stated in that letter, my recommendation is to not revisit, but we did have the chief go down there and look over them.
Any other questions for you, David?
Just update, Duke Energy's got the transformers in. They said they should have the lights on and powered by Thursday.
All right, well, we'll close the public discussion and open it up at the table here for any other discussion.
Just a general question, maybe around the table. Once approval is granted at this meeting, then what happens? What does this final approval allow the contractor to do?
The short answer is it doesn't allow the contractor to do anything. This is the recommendation that goes to the city council. And I do have, our attorney had emailed earlier today, if I may just fill you in on what he had said. The dedication language has been updated. They're still trying to confirm the title company that will give the title certification, so that has not been filled in yet. So if the P&Z board wants to recommend it, I suggest they do so with the condition that the title certification has to be filled in prior to the city council reviewing it. Once that section is completed, they can print the Mylar, have it signed before everyone, and then we'll be ready for recording if and when the city council approves it. So that'd be the next step to answer your question.
Very good, thank you.
And then he sent an update. Did you see the updated email that he sent it to 23?
Title examiner information is now completed. Thank you.
Live and in-person update.
I asked Tammy, there weren't minutes to the last meeting, and I do recall a question that Rock brought up, and that was not related to stormwater, so, and I think you just spoke to that, but I want to be real clear on that. It was fire access.
Correct. So there are two things going on. The first is, the first and overarching thing is that initial drawing as it sits with the street and the T, that was approved preliminarily when this first came before. So the P&Z and even City Council, we would have a difficult time explaining why we were to go back and change that now, because it was already preliminarily approved. However, because that was a concern, the chief did go down to visit, and he has no issues, no concerns with how it's laid out.
And that visit was since our last meeting?
Correct, that was, I think, the day after the last meeting.
And the issue was, we have a new truck we didn't have 4 years ago when this was approved, right? But he's okay with the new size of the truck and getting in and getting out of there?
Yeah, the long and short of that is, or the short version of the story is, we don't have any requirements, nothing is codified that states new developments have to have enough room to fit the largest piece of apparatus, which is what I think the thinking was around that. We just have to have adequate fire access. So if he can't get the ladder truck in there, for example, because there's no room to turn around, there is enough room for him to park the ladder before that T, run hose if he needs to.
That ladder truck also has a reverse in it.
But if I can, he called me the day after I talked to him, and he said he was out there with one of his engineers, and he said he had no problem. He didn't foresee a problem pulling in, backing up, and then doing a 3-point turn to get out of there, so.
All right, so that's been addressed. Emily, you recommend moving forward, you see no issues.
We don't see any issues.
And at this point, our attorney has said that the title examiner information is now completed. Is that what I understood that you read?
That is what he said in
There are a
his-
couple of things on the document, on this new document that we noticed though that would need to be updated, I believe. And Emily noticed those, but this is to certify that I, Chris Hubbard, City Administrator, and below that, this is to certify that I, Willie Payne, City Engineer. So, I don't know if this is current or old, but when he says the title examiner information is now completed, down in the left corner, it's saying title examiner Thomas Gibson with, Thomas Gibson, attorney at law. Is that accurate?
I believe Gibson was the name that he told me. I haven't been to the office since midday, so I haven't
Okay.
gotten the final one. And I think the Dominion, what was that?
Old Republic,
Old Republic, yeah.
Old Republic Title Insurance Company.
Okay. When I saw a couple of them there, wasn't sure about that.
I mean, Chuck's not the tax collector anymore. Oh,
Yeah, it is.
okay, sorry.
Let me do his website. I got the answer on that.
Sorry.
That was good. It's all right. But yeah, there's a few things in here that aren't right, so it's good to look it over.
Mr. Chair, if I may, what you can do, and what I would recommend doing, is identifying those issues, and then you can recommend approval pending those changes made prior to.
Okay.
I'm embarrassed to say, I don't know who the Bay County clerk is. Is it still Mr. Kinsel?
It is.
Okay. Just making sure that
Mhm.
all the other names on this time page are accurate.
So Chris, you're saying that we could entertain a motion for making these name changes. So we know which one replaces Chris Hubbard. What replaces Willie Payne?
Elizabeth Moore.
Okay.
that.
Her name's actually there under the by underneath where she
Yeah,
actually
she's already
signs.
there.
It just wasn't updated in the paragraph.
The, yeah, the tax collector statement has my name, or city administrator has my name. City engineer certificate is Elizabeth Moore. Is the copy that they have off of the second Tim Sloan email?
Mhm.
Okay.
Is it just those two?
Looks like it, just those two. And then I believe what Tammy read to us, which I didn't catch verbatim, but the title certificate, the title certification needs to be, there was a recommendation from the attorney that you read us there, correct?
Yes, the title examiner information is now completed.
So there's nothing to do with that one. That was correct now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our motion just needs to correct the incorrect names on top, of which there's only two.
Okay.
Ready for motion?
Ready for a motion?
I'll make the motion that we recommend to the city council approval of the final plat, approval of cottages at Paradise Cove with the two corrections, city administrator deleting Chris Hubbard and inserting the city administrator deleting under the city engineer certificate Willie Payne and inserting the correct name.
I'll second. We have a motion, we have a second. Tammy, would you please call for a vote?
Okay. Mr. Fasagi?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Elsey?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
And Mr. Kerrigan?
Yes. And that's everything we have tonight, right, Tammy? Anything else, Chris? Good?
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Thank you. We're adjourned.